Hello and welcome to Alejandro HD. And today we're in a different setting because I have chose to be in a different setting. And today I wanted to talk about Eminem and this whole cancellation thing the trend that's going on. Normally I don't like to get involved in like what's happening now trends. I just Twitter and all this nonsense. I just leave it alone. But this whole Gen Z thing with the you should cancel Eminem because of a song that he made with Rihanna in 2010, and he said he's going to tie somebody to the bed and set the house on fire. That's just really made me annoyed. It's really like if these people who are not old enough to understand who Eminem is, knew the cultural impact that he had on music and general life, then there'd be a very different sort of thing. I know that there's like this. It seems to be in the world today that hating something that's maybe not as bad as what it really is the new norm. Like people getting upset over certain people being cast in films that aren't maybe not like like oh that person's cast as a man, they should be a woman, or all this nonsense. I get it in a sense, like okay, but there's only so many things that you can do before certain people start getting annoyed about these things, and I'm one of these people. Like you can't attack Eminem. You just can't. There's just no way. I mean, I saw a video compilation of all these people who were like, oh, the Gen Z or the bad, like, oh, you've no listened to Kim, you've no listened to this, you think these controversial lyrics are bad, you should listen to these controversial lyrics. And it's not even about controversial lyrics, it's about just the idiocracy, the absolute stupidity of these people who are like, oh yeah, cancel Eminem because of these reasons. He doesn't do good music. He does bad. Shut up. Really, just stop. Now, I was considering doing like a 20-part series on this, but I'm not. I'm not going to do. Well, I might do that depending on how annoyed I am over this. In the beginning, way back, 1997, when he became slightly in the mainstream. It wasn't until 1999 and when he became fully in the public eye with the Sunshine LP and everything like that. But before that, you had Infinite. Now, if you listen to Infinite, there's songs on Infinite that you could not play anywhere today because of the lyrics, because of how much they would get. The media just wouldn't accept it. And the same goes for most of his albums, up to maybe Recovery, where it gets a bit nicer and he starts talking about how drugs aren't good and you know I was in a dark place and now I'm in a good place, and that's fine. That's fine. That shows his maturity and it shows how well he's came. But the sort of just the utter and sheer stupidity of these young people, these young kids who think they've got some sort of entitlement because they've been on the planet for like 15 years, that can start saying things like, oh, you should cancel Eminem. It's just ridiculous. I mean, if you think about it, like I saw this thing, like I was just reading through Twitter and blah blah blah, and there was like, oh yeah, these are demeaning to women and all this, and it's like, oh god. I mean, he's trying to make a point in the "Love the Way You Lie" video song with Rihanna. Like he's trying to make a point that he's in a bad relationship, and yeah, it's not it's all about imagery, and it's all about using the emotions of the person. It's not about this you know, thing where you're just saying stuff for the sake of saying stuff. I mean, maybe when he was younger he did, talking about how he was going to kill NSYNC. You know what I mean? Like, all right, fair enough. But that's just the style. That's just the comedy of the time. Because that's another thing. Comedy is just no longer a thing anymore. Nobody can make a joke about anything without somebody getting upset about it. It's just ridiculous. And there's a lot of humor and a lot of really like poignant things that Eminem done in his early career. I mean, you had your silly songs, like you had songs like "Kill You." Of course, that's not like the lyrics to that. I mean, yeah, you listen to those lyrics and you wouldn't. You're like, oh no, he's listening to that, And then you had songs that just really like had uplifting things, like "Love the Way You Lose Yourself." Sorry, I mean, like that's LeBron James' his workout song, as far as I'm aware. You have guys like songs like Till I Collapse, again, that's another motivational song. The Way I Am is quite motivational. And then you had songs like Mosh. If you released Mosh today, you'd have like 1,000 Secret Service agents at his door. And probably already had 1,000 Secret Service agents at his door when he released Mosh. And most of the people who want to cancel Eminem haven't listened to his actual real stuff. They've maybe listened to like Lose Yourself and maybe Without Me or whatever, and that's been enough for them to say, look, well, yeah, you shouldn't do it. It's really bad. It's like, shh, listen, listen. It's not the case. It's just it's don't like these stupid social justice warriors who think that they can say what they want and that'll be the way of the world. It just isn't going to be the case, right? Certain things, okay, certain things he's came out and he said and it's wrong, and I get it, and that's fine. But you know, such a silly thing to attack as well. Like maybe if you'd went on about the Kim song or Superman where he went after Mariah Carey, or Bagpipes from Baghdad when he had a go at like Nick Cannon. The whole Relapse album, Relapse. I mean, Relapse is horrorcore to its finest. It's absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to leave a link in the description to the album of Relapse for any of you social warrior justice, whatever they're called, Gen Z types that want to, listen to songs that'll make you cry. I've got a repertoire of songs that'll make you cry, and they're a lot harder and a lot more savage than his song we did with Rihanna, which was one of the biggest listened to songs of all time as far as I know, collaboration wise, and sold really well as well. And you're thinking to yourself like, it's just ridiculous. This planet. This is so messed up when it comes to things like this. He released a song on his most recent album, the Music to Be Murdered By, and it was like the Darkness, the song The Darkness, and it's talking about how the guy who shot up the hotel in France, and then like he's talking about how they should end gun crime, and then he done his cipher against Donald Trump, and he done, of course, he done Mosh as well back in the day, like I said earlier, and he's done so many songs that are political and so many songs that are against the establishment, but would probably appeal to these idiots that are like trying to get him cancelled. And you just think to yourself, like, listen to these songs, and you might, have a different opinion on Eminem, and maybe a few other artists as well. Like, you listen to early D12. Early D12 have got some really disturbing lyrics because that's what they were. They were like, they weren't taking it seriously. They were a joke most of the time, and that's the sort of image that Eminem had when he was younger. He done his Slim Shady, you know, "Hi kids, do you like violence?" That was one of his first. That was his breakout first lyric, like, and it's unreal. It's just completely unreal, and everyone it's a challenge to any Gen Z or whatever they call themselves, young person that thinks that they know everything and thinks that they can challenge Eminem to be cancelled. I will give you a repertoire of music from Eminem, from D12, from individual guys like Conniver, guys like Bizarre, from and just listen to these lyrics, and they're going to shock you. You're going to make you want to hide under your bed, and you're going to be scared, and it's just a complete and utter mess. If you want to cancel somebody, cancel these like silly rapper, like mumble rap types, like, nonsense, complete and utter nonsense, talking about drugs and cars and money and how many girls have banged at the weekend. Attack them. Those are the ones that you want to go for, not like Eminem, created a career on controversy for sure, but controversy in the right places and with a big message for everyone to know. It's like I say, it's just completely and utterly crazy. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that one, and I'll see you next one. Cheers.